further ado, our next presenter is ready to go. Evan, Legacy Hotels. Good morning, and welcome to the IntelliTravel family. I'll get out of your way, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, hi everyone. Welcome so much. Thank you for joining me today and being willing to learn about Legacy. Legacy is a selection of. Let's wait until it's playing. Okay, so Legacy is a collection of hotels and safari lodges that are scattered about South Africa. Don't worry, there's a lot of different properties you can see. Some are up in Gabon, but we're not going to talk about all of these today, only a few that I think that are really pertinent to the North American market. So you can see that their maps are very important. So we can see here that we're going to be focusing on Johannesburg, Pilanesberg, Cape Town, and Kruger National Park, all of which are located within South Africa here. Going into Sandton, so Sandton is very much the hub of Johannesburg. It's in the center of the city. Very, very safe. It is very up and coming. It's very upscale as well. We have a number of different properties here, but I'm going to talk to you about two in particular. Number one is the Leonardo. Just next slide. So as you can see, it's a high-rise tower. This is the highest building in Johannesburg and the highest multi-use building in all of South Africa, or all of Africa, I should say. There's also the Michelangelo Tower. You can see that's a smaller one on the left-hand side of the screen. The Leonardo does dwarf this one in comparison. It was built in March of 2020, so not necessarily a good time for the travel industry, but it's pretty much brand new and ready to go by this point. If you want to go to the next slide, please. So you can see here that the rooms are spacious, all apartment style here. You can go down to the next slide, please. There's a number of different options here for the bedrooms. We have the 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom options here, all with a little kitchenette and ensuite washrooms. The nice thing about the Leonardo in particular is that it's very much built as an art gallery. So when you walk in, you have a number of different art pieces there. A lot of hotels try to incorporate art within their hotel, but in this case, they went to different South African artists and they asked, how would you like us to build this hotel around your art? So when you walk in, everything is just very artsy and very beautiful, and you really feel like you're walking through an art gallery. Wonderful things like the Octo Bar and the Orem restaurants, absolutely fantastic places. And one other thing as well is that it is the highest rooftop bar in Africa, the Alto 234. So even if you don't have clients staying here, please just come in and book it, and we'd love to have you stay up on the Alto 234. Next slide, please. That's the Alto 224 there, actually. So you can see just a fantastic skyline there. Next slide. So you can see another hotel that we have that's just a 2-minute walk away called the Da Vinci Hotel and Suites. This is also 5-star. You can see there's a little bit of a mall on the bottom there, but at the top, that's where all of the rooms are, as you can say. It's much more modern decor, a bit more funky. If you want to go down one more slide, please. So black and white, much more modern, a bit more youthful, I would say. It's good for that kind of market. The nice thing, just one more down, please. You can see that they have an incredible whiskey bar, which I recommend everyone check out when you're in South Africa. One nice thing too is that many of the locals come here for brunch, so you'll get to see a little bit of the local vibe there. And the nice thing too with both of these hotels is they're both accessible via the hub train, which goes directly to JNB Airport, so no need to have those pesky airport transfers. Next slide, please. Going down to Cape Town, this is my absolutely favorite city in the entire world. It's fantastic, as you can see, just beautiful, stunning. Next slide, please. So we'll start with the Commodore. This is an incredible 4-star option. It has absolutely everything you need. As the name suggests, next slide, you can see that it is nautical themed. It's really, really interesting, actually. You can see the beams as you walk in are actually kind of built off of the design of a keel of a ship. Next slide, please. So one thing that I always recommend is that the rooms in the Commodore are very spacious, very clean, but one nice thing that you can do is for your clients, upgrade them to the deluxe room. And what you get there on the top left-hand side, you can see that there is a private balcony on each of the rooms. So if you have a standard, it's just going to be without that, but it's a negligible cost for this upgrade, and it really makes the room feel a lot more spacious. Next slide, please. Portswood is their other 4-star option that's just a 2-minute walk away. This one is a little bit more quiet, so it's kind of better for corporate events and families as well. Next slide, please. One interesting thing is that, just next slide. One interesting thing you can see here is that the restaurant, you can see the walls are a little bit more cobblestone, if I can say that. And that's because this used to be a holding cell for the prisoners that used to go to Robben Island, which is basically the South Africa's version of Alcatraz. So it's not really in use anymore in that way, obviously, but it does have a little bit of history, this hotel. So if you have some history buffs there, then you definitely want to put them here. And the nice thing too with both of these hotels is that they are within a 2-minute walk to the heart of the V&A waterfront, which is kind of the hub of where the tourism section is of this fantastic city. Next up. Thank you. Going into Pilanesberg. So a lot of people don't necessarily know Pilanesberg, and it's a bit of a shame because it is a big 5 destination. And then also the nice thing with it is that there is no malaria in this area too. So it's very, very family friendly. It's only a 3-hour drive from Johannesburg. Thank you so much. So very accessible. Just a little bit further down, thank you. We have the Vakabong Bush Lodge. This is one of 3 options that we have in this particular national park here. So this has about 100 rooms or so. Please just a little bit more down. So you can see the big 5, 100 rooms, really, really spacious rooms, and really excellent service and value here. So it does include game drives. You can do the game walks as well, just a little bit farther down. Thank you. Really good for conferencing and business, and excellent for families as well, because we have the Junior Rangers program and various kids activities. So don't worry about, like, oh, it's safari is a bit too much, we can't bring our kids along. That's not a problem here. Next slide, please. Another alternative we have here is the Kwa Maritani. This one is also 4-star in the Pilanesberg National Park. This is just a little bit smaller than our counterpart, Vakabong. Just slide down there, thank you. The amazing thing about this, and the thing that really differentiates it from the Vakabong, is that it has an underground hide. So one of my favorite things about safari is an armchair safari, where I don't have to work very hard to see any game, and this is a perfect example of this. So you're basically just inside this small building that's right next to a waterhole, and then the animals come to you. So it's just like the best armchair safari, basically. You can be having a gin and tonic and have your elephants right in front of you. It's fantastic. Next slide, please. And very similar, so Junior Rangers and kids activities is good for corporate events, also good for families. Next slide. And then our final one here in Pilanesberg National Park is Chikudu Bush Lodge. So this is located a little bit more in the center of the park. The first 2 were up just on the edges. So Chikudu is up on a hill, so it's got a little bit more of a view than the counterpart. It is 5-star, so really, really nice in this park. And it is much smaller, so there's only about a dozen rooms or so in the entirety of the lodge, so it's much more private. There is a minimum age for there, so much more couples, honeymoons, that kind of stuff. Please go down. And you can see there's just this awesome view over the valley that is Pilanesberg National Park. So we have 2 room categories here, chalet and suite. Obviously, if you have the money, I'll go for the suite. You get that nice private plunge pool, which is nice, and a little bit more of extra space there. Next slide. And then the final lodge I'll be talking to you about, and this is personally one of my favorites to talk about in this portfolio, is the Elephant Point here. So this is very close to Kruger National Park. It's actually just right across the river from Kruger National Park. And so these are 21 different standalone villas. Each one is a little bit more unique from each other, so there's no single one is the same. They range from 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom options. And if you can pack all of your clients inside there, or basically like maximize the number of bedrooms that you're utilizing, then the deal is really, really incredible. With this, you have your private butler, private guide, private vehicle, which is usually at a significant additional cost, private maid, private chef, everything. So everything is very much standalone within your own unit, and there's a lot of bushes between all of the different villas to really create a sense of privacy between all of them. So you don't really interact with anyone else while you're here. If you just want to scroll down a little bit. just a few more images of what we can offer here. So the game drives do take place in Kruger National Park, so we can easily pack the vehicle with a lunch, and then you can go really deep into the park so that you don't have to go back and forth through the lodge. Yeah, again, this is a really excellent 5-star option, especially if you have kids or families, multi-generational. We know that that's really big these days in South Africa, so just keep this in mind for the next time that you guys are booking your trip to South Africa. But thank you so much.
All right, Evan, thank you. Legacy Hotels, great job, thank you.